Hey guys, it's me Astrid, and hello, I am back from the dead. I have recently spent all my time focusing on graduating from school, and barring that I might have failed any of my classes, I could say I graduated college, so hooray! Also, I moved to a new place. You might tell that the background's a little bit different. That's exciting, and I figured I would just do a nice little unpotting and repotting video for you today of this orchid. Dendrobium Proud Appeal Ace. You see that tag? And here is the beast in question. I got this for half off at a local nursery, and I looked up what the flowers look like. They look really pretty, and I saw the potential in this plant. It may have shriveled canes, but it has loads of new growths. If you look in here, you can see all these little new growths. There's some over here, some over here. If you just look around though, there are a ton of new growths. Additionally, I think that this is a plant that I might be able to divide, and all around, I think it was a pretty good purchase. It was, what, $12.50 for this big thing, and for a dendrobium that I haven't seen bloom before, so that's exciting. Without further ado, let's get to unpotting this. Most of the pieces of bark are out of this orchid at this point, and I think I'm going to go ahead and try to find a place to divide it. So you can see we have tons and tons of growths, and even though they're dehydrated, you can see how wrinkled they are. I am not really worried about dividing this plant. It should recover just fine, but I'm going to try to locate where all the new growths are and try to ensure that I'm giving kind of an even number of new growths to each part of the division. So we've got 1, 2, 3, okay, 4, and 5. There's about 5 new growths, so I think if I go right about here so that this new growth stays with this part of the division, I think we'll be good. Okay. Okay, now we have 2 plants. That was really easy. Sometimes dividing orchids can be nightmarishly difficult. You need to like go at them with a knife and stuff. But in this case, it was really very simple. So I'm going to go ahead and keep cleaning these up. There's all these little dried sheaths on them. I'm going to clean these up, and I'm going to pot them, and I'll show you the end result. I hope you enjoy. Okay, so here are the kind of cleaned up little orchids. Now, I made a couple mistakes here, and I wanted to point them out to you so you guys might learn a little bit from what I did wrong. So I wasn't very careful when I was dividing them, and this little tiny new growth got broken off, and I am so pissed at myself about this, but you can't always win. So yeah, I broke a new growth off, and that was problematic. The next problem that I noticed is that when I divided it, this piece is awfully loose from the rest. It's almost as though this rhizome is not connected at all. So this group of bulbs is not connected to this group of bulbs by anything. We will see if this new growth grows really slowly and poorly. I will attribute it to the fact that this part of the division is not connected to this larger part. You can kind of see how flimsy the connection is there, but I'm going to be gentle with it so I don't put it at further risk. So I'm kind of questioning my decision to divide this, but at the same time, I'm okay with my decision to divide this because Sometimes if a plant has so many growths all together, you can't get into the center of the plant. You can't get things really cleaned out like you would want them to be cleaned out. So sometimes dividing is an okay choice, even if you doubt yourself a few minutes later, Astrid, it's fine. But yeah, without further chit-chatting, why don't we get to repotting these? I've got 2 cups meant for semi-hydroponics here. They were for other orchids, but I took them out and I washed the cups. So we've got holes that are about 1.5 inches from the bottom. This will create a water reservoir in the cup. And then I have these holes in the top, here and here where my fingers are, so I can put a bamboo skewer through to hold the plant down against the medium, and that will help it to be stable as it puts out new roots, because these guys have a lot of bad old roots, as you can see. These brown, mushy, stringy ones are not so perfect, and because of that, they're not going to be stable in the pot when I repot them. So they're going to need all the stability they can get. Bamboo skewers do a good job of that, and you can see my video in the links below if you're curious about that topic. So I've got my leca pellets. It's going to be noisy, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill the pot up until these holes here. You can kind of see them, and that will be the base, and then I'll put the plant in and start filling the rest. So I'm going to see which way the new growths are coming in. They seem kind of all over the place, so I'm going to position this plant in the center of this pot rather than anywhere else. So let's go ahead and hold it in place. Okay, so now this is full, and I'm just gonna knead it like this. I'm gonna mash it a little bit to help the pebbles settle between the roots, and shake it a little bit. That also helps. And this plant is standing on its own without me holding it, but we're still gonna put a skewer through. And where are those holes? Here and here. So I'm just gonna go like this. And get that bamboo skewer in there so that the plant has some stability and isn't wobbling too much in the pot. I think we've done a good job. Okay guys, so here are the finished products. Again, this is, what is it called? Where's my tag? This is Dendrobium Proud Appeal Ace. I'll have to make 2 more tags for these guys because they're now in 2 separate pots. And this is the successful repotting into semi-hydroponics. If I don't give you guys an update on these shortly, maybe 3 months from now, why doesn't someone pester me about it? Because you guys are really good at reminding me of what I forgot to do. Yeah, and one thing I wanted to address before I go is the issue of roots reaching the bottom of these pots and going into the water reservoir. Roots grow into the environment and they get accustomed to the environment that they grow into. So if a root grows into some water, it will most likely be okay to sit in that water as long as the water doesn't get too cold. If it starts to rot, that's probably not that much of a problem either, because there will be many other roots throughout the pot. But the roots will grow down into the water if they feel like it. There's not much you can do about that, and I wouldn't really worry that much about it. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy growing and have a nice day. Bye bye.